Hello everybody, welcome to match 3 with the third horseman, fitting. I'd like to be on the play. Can I keep this hand? This hand would go Mox Opal, Contested Warzone, Signal Pest, then nothing. But the turn after I could go Signal Pest. It feels good, but since I'm on the play, I think I'm actually going to mulligan it, and I'm glad I did. I think this hand is much better with the turn 1 Chalice on 1. Excuse me. This is a turn 1 Chalice on 1 plus Midnight turn 2 Etch Champion, and I think that's much better. So yes, we will keep this. Chalice on 1. Resolve. Midnight. And then ship the turn. So next turn could either play Vault Scourge or Etch Champion. If we draw a Mox Opal, I suppose I could do both. Verdant Catacombs. Could be Elves, could be Jund, could be... I'm leaning towards Elves. Frogmite, I like that. So let's go ahead and... Etch Champion... Can't play Frogmite, but that's fine. Let's go ahead and attack for 1. I'd rather my opponent not have a Dryad Arbor. So I think this is Elves, with Verdant Catacombs fetching Dryad Arbor. So fortunately, Chalice on 1 shuts down a big portion of the deck. And we shall see. Definitely going to be bringing Scrubland. Maybe it's not Elves. Jite. Ooh, that's going to hurt. Fortunately, I have my Etch Champion, and I'm going to be bringing in Jites of my own. Cranial Plating, though. Yeah, I'm going to Cranial and then attack with the Midnight over the Etch Champion. So I can blank my opponent's Jite attacks. This is a green creature? Is this a green creature? Yeah, it's got the green dot. It's a green creature. So going to deny my opponent a chance to use the Jite. So actually, I don't know what my opponent's playing with Dryad Arbor into Jite. Dryad Arbor Scrubland into Jite. So my opponent is some sort of Abzan flavor deck. Maze of Ith. Okay, that's definitely going to be a problem. Equipping the Jite onto the Dryad Arbor. City of Traders. Probably not exactly what I needed. But I do think I need to be casting a few more creatures. So now my plan is to attack with the Midnight and the Frogmite. I'm only going to get in for 2 damage because of the maze, but no, I can get in for a little more. I get in for 3. Oh, I don't know if it's worth it for me to be taking 2, so I don't think I will. That is acceptable. Next turn I'll attack with the Midnight, the Frogmite, and the Vault Scourge. So I'm going to be getting in for 3. Unless my opponent is foolish and attacks with the Dryad Arbor here, he does not. Ornithopter. Not awful. It is another thing I can Contested Warzone with. So let's see, I could attack for 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I think it's worth it to hold off 1 more turn on the Etched Champion. I'm sure my opponent will maze here. Oh, maybe I should not have attacked with the Frogmite. Let's see if my opponent decides to block. Well, the thing, I guess I should have attacked with the Frogmite Yeah, I think I'm losing my Etch champion here, unfortunately. I probably should have just attacked with it. Because although my opponent's going to lose a Dried Arbor, he is going to be able to get rid of my Etch champion. So I'm actually not going to equip the Cranial just yet. I want to see what my opponent kills with this GT first. Wasteland, perhaps for the contested war zone. Okay, so this is like a Maverick style deck. Mox Opal. A little too late. I'm actually going to go ahead and put this on the Frogmite so that my opponent is incentivized to kill it. And I mean, now that my opponent has the GT online, I may as well attack with everything. So I'm probably only going to get him for 3 here, but my opponent will have to use the GT counters to get rid of the Etched champion. This might not be the best attack either. I don't know. This is very complicated. The Maze of Ith is making things a little difficult. My opponent is choosing to block, though. And is choosing to get rid of the Etched champion. Okay, we figured that as much. Alright, so interestingly, my opponent did choose to trade there instead of Maze of Ithing. So now I actually am going to equip. Yeah, I don't think I played that optimally, but I don't think my opponent did either, thankfully. So actually, I'm going to want to put the Cranial onto the Ornithopter. I just realized. Oh yeah, I forgot about my Chalice for 1. I'm sure that's doing a lot of work this game. Is this another Knight of the Reliquary? Green Suns for 2. Getting Tarmogoyf? Getting Cassili Pride Mage, okay. I do like Frogmite. Let's go ahead and put that onto the Ornithopter. And let's attack my opponent for 7 and see where that gets us. And we are going to Contested War Zone. So now I imagine my opponent will destroy the Cranial Plating. Can't imagine why he would not. Okay, so he mazes the Ornithopter, which is fine. Does he kill the Frogmite? That doesn't seem right. Excuse me, the Vault Scourge. No, he takes his 2 from the Vault Scourge. Oh, potential. I guess he could destroy the Chalice of the Void. But he does need the GT creature, so... So I do not think I will be blocking. I think I can afford to take 2. I have no real way of stopping the GT, unfortunately. So I guess it's really... Yeah, I think I am going to block him. That forces him to either sacrifice it or lose his only creature. I think that's worth it. Oh no, I just realized that GT... Wait, why is it +1? Oh, Exalted. Okay, I really screwed that up then. Now I've lost the Frogmite for no reason. My mistake. Should have just taken 3 there if I'd been paying a little more attention. Yeah, now I'm in some trouble. Yep, now we're in trouble. Can't really attack because of the maze. I suppose I could block the Pride Mage now. Yep, just need to pay a little bit more better attention. I will be blocking the Pride Mage with the Ornithopter if my opponent chooses to attack here. Hopefully I did not just throw the game away by blocking with the Frogmite. Yep, let's go ahead and block. Oh man, I'm just the worst. Yeah, this game's pretty over. Well, my opponent cannot fetch anymore. I guess my opponent's also in a bit of a precarious position here. Okay. Steel Overseer. Yeah, I don't think I'm winning this one. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and concede with the GT out. So yeah, the Frogmite I think may have cost me that game. But we'll bring in our own GTs. We'll bring in our Manrika Gusaris. And I guess even a Caracas. We'll take out Contested Warzone. We'll take out Arcbound Worker. We'll shave a... Steel Overseer 2 and a Midnight. Let's try this out. I would like to play first this time, hopefully without the play mistakes. This hand seems pretty good. Let's go ahead and keep it. We're going to go City of Traders, Ornithopter, Midnight, Vault Scourge, and hopefully be able to play in a quick Cranial next turn. If my opponent had a Wasteland, I suppose that would have been pretty bad, but he did not. The ideal top deck for me here would be Darksteel Citadel. Green Suns for 0, getting that Triad Arbor. Manrika Gusari, I do like that. Let's go ahead and play the Cranial since my opponent does not have anything on the field yet. Swing for 3. And pass the turn. Wasteland for my City of Traders. Not the best, but happily I played my Gwarzalez. Or I played my Cranial. So come on, land. Arcbound. That's not good. Or Mox Opal. Mox Opal would be a great draw too. My opponent did miss a land drop. Now he played the, never mind. Well, there's Gwarzalez GT. So now the Gwarzalez is a little late. City of Traders, though. Let's go ahead and play the Arcbound so that I can block and sack and maybe get a little ahead. That way I deny my opponent some GT shenanigans. Very interested in playing this Gwarzalez. Hopefully my opponent does not have another Wasteland here. He does not. He has Verdant Catacombs, which is A-OK. Getting a Scrubland, so now he could Abrupt Decay something. Which is what looks like is occurring here. Maybe not. Paying life. Okay, Toxic Deluge, not a big deal. Let's just sack my 1-drops. Actually, do I want to keep Vault Scourge or sacrifice Vault Scourge? With the Maze of Ith and the GT, I think I'd rather keep Vault Scourge. No, I think I'd rather not have Vault Scourge. Another Arcbound is good. I think I want to go ahead and play Gwarzalez though, so I can equip it and Cranial next turn and go ahead and get rid of my opponent's GT. Probably should have attacked there. Made my opponent spend the Maze of Ith. My opponent can outgrow the Ooze twice. We shall see. That is what's going on. My opponent can only do it once. Scrubland is a Plains Swamp. So if he attacks here, I will be blocking. He opts not to. Okay, I do like Frogmite. Let's go ahead and equip here. Equip here. Yeah, I don't need to do that quite yet. Let's attack my opponent for 9. Get mazed. The Arcbound's going to hopefully make it so I can play around the maze, though. My opponent will be able to grow the Ooze here again. Very interesting game. Very interesting game, yeah. Can't really block. Green Suns for 1. Getting Birds of Paradise, okay. Now let's go ahead and get rid of my opponent's GT. I do like another Ornithopter. Let's play another Arcbound. Swing with everyone. My plan here is if he probably will maze the Arcbound, block the Frogmite, I'll sacrifice that Arcbound to the Frogmite, and hopefully be able, hopefully able to get this guy. So I'll have a 5/5 Frogmite. Okay, my opponent has potentially seen this plan. So instead, he will just take 3, which is fine. I will pass the turn. Getting a Windswept Heath. To get another Savannah. To play a Council's Judgment. Voting for Manriki Gusari, okay. My opponent may have another Jite here. Maze of It does not tap for mana, correct. I do like Signal Pest. So let's attack with both Arcbounds and the Frogmite. And we have a blocker if my opponent has another Jite. My opponent can eat a creature and make his ooze a 4/4. Alright, so now he's going to do this blocks to make his guy a 4/4. So let's try and make this happen. I think that was fine to go ahead and get rid of that ooze. My opponent can eat a creature and gain a life in response, but does not. If my opponent has another Toxic Deluge, I will be sad because I will not be able to attack with the Signal Pest. But I think this game went pretty well, all things considered. I probably made some misplays. There's a Knight. We'll put the Cranial on the Arcbound. Yeah. Seems pretty good. My opponent will maze something here, not sure what. I'll probably take at least 2. Actually, if my opponent mazes, yeah, let's wait till my opponent declares blockers. I can do an additional 2 points of damage off of this Arcbound, potentially. No, because I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I could win this turn depending what my opponent does. Go all in on Arcbound. Alright, so he's swordsing that. So let's sacrifice that to Arcbound. Now he has no blockers. So 3, 4, 5. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, so I have it. That should be game. Whew, what a nail biter. Alright, we're going to the last game here. I suppose playing Phyrexian Revoker is good because instead of the Etched Champions maybe, because my opponent's on the Wasteland plan, because I can name Jite or Knight of the Reliquary or any of the other cards my opponent might be playing, so let's try that out. And plus I had 2 Etched Champions in my hand that whole game because of the Wasteland that I wasn't able to use. Whew. Alright, so this hand is pretty interesting. I can go turn 1 Chalice, and then I have a Steel Overseer. I'm going to try it out. It may not be... My opponent's going to 5, so this turn 1 Chalice on 1 is going to 4. Ouch. So even though my hand is not great, I think that we're going to be just fine. Getting Dryad Arbor. Yeah. Maybe I should have mulliganed, but... Yeah, because triple Mox Opal is normally not the best. Deathrite Shaman. Okay, that's going to do a lot for my opponent. Arcbound's going to do a lot for me. So let's get in there. So actually I can cast 2 things this turn. Let's do this on 1. And then let's go Mox Opal. Mox Opal. Still Overseer. I suppose I could have sequenced that a little differently. So I could sack some Mox Opals to the Arcbound. Yeah, I definitely should have sequenced that differently in regards to the Arcbound. Because I could have had a 3/3 Arcbound. Ooh, and Wasteland does nothing against my Darksteel Citadel. Yeah, I think I goofed up a little. Just got that tunnel vision. Yeah, because I could have gone Darksteel, Opal, Mimnite, Arcbound, and then sacked it to the Arcbound and played the Chalice last. But I suppose getting the Steel Overseer turn 1 is not bad either. There's a Cassili Pride Mage to get rid of my Steel Overseer. Which he's doing immediately, so yeah, now I wish I'd played it the other way. But, of course, no way of knowing. Double Arcbound I do like. Swing 1. My opponent had to mull to 4, though, on the play, so that's not good for him. Triple Arcbound. I do like that. Arcbound is just such a good card. So my plan is to sack this Arcbound to the first Arcbound and then put the counter on the Midnight. My opponent can't swords me because I have the Chalice in play. Cannot wasteland me. Can gain life though. But yeah, things are not looking good. We will, of course, press our advantage. Ancient Tomb. Not the best, not the worst. The old triple arc-bound hand. I like it. I like it a lot. Alright, that does give my opponent a wasteland target, but now my opponent is down a mana, so I do not mind overmuch. I'd rather him use it on that than a contested Warzone or a Blink Moth, so I suppose running out the Ancient Tomb was inevitable. Yeah, just going to do 4 damage. My opponent will gain 2, I presume. But I'm the one with 5 power on the board. My opponent's missed several land drops and just had to use one to get rid of my Ancient Tomb. So not looking great for him or her. Not going to totally discount him out of the game though. He is in some pretty hateful colors. But I think I'm also immune to Toxic Deluge here. If my opponent somehow plays a land and then does that. I'm immune to all of the 1-drops. Frogmite, not bad, not bad. I don't really want to sacrifice any more creatures so that my opponent can't keep gaining life. He can gain it one more time off this Cassili Pride Mage in his graveyard, but I would rather not give him an additional 4 points, so if he blocks this Arcbound, I will sacrifice probably... I can't decide between Mox Opal. We'll see what happens. There's also possibly my opponent will just not block, which is what I assume will happen. So gain 2, go to 11. I will attack again next turn. My opponent finally finds a forest. Pretty nice forest. I like this art. My opponent has access to 3 mana currently. Perhaps playing a Knight of the Reliquary here as a 3/3. Yep, that is what happened. I can still safely attack though. Ornithopter, sure. So if my opponent blocks the Frogmite or the Arcbound, if my opponent blocks anything, I can sack one Arcbound to the other Arcbound and make it bigger. Actually, do I just have it here? I have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I have 11 damage if my opponent does not block. And I will certainly be doing it if he does not. Even if he does block. So let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So yeah, let's... sack here. Put the counters onto Frogmite. See, 1, 2, I'm just double checking. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So let's go 9, 10, 11. And there we go. I'll see you guys in the 4th round.